ever bought something online and thought, wait, how does this even work?
Right.
You're not alone. We're diving into the world of online sales channel management today, a career path that's, like, seriously booming right now.
Yeah, it's a fascinating field, really. It blends strategy and creativity, all while using data to
Hmm.
drive decisions. You're not just selling a product, you're crafting this whole experience
Hmm.
for the customer, I mean,
Yeah.
from the moment they find your brand all the way to, like, buying it, and even after.
Okay, so it's way more than just, like, being good at posting on Instagram then.
Way bigger, yeah.
Yeah.
Think of an online sales channel manager as, like, the conductor of an orchestra.
Okay.
They decide where a product should be seen online. Like, is it websites, social media platforms, maybe even email campaigns?
Mm.
And they've got to make sure that message, whatever it is, consistent, engaging, no matter where the customer sees it.
So, like, setting the stage for making that sale. I see, I see. Rolecatcher's guides talk about defining sales programs. What does that even actually mean, like, in practice?
It's kind of like creating the roadmap. Imagine you're launching this new line of athletic wear.
Okay.
The online sales channel manager figures out where to focus. Should it be Instagram? Because, visuals. Or maybe partner with fitness influencers. Or even, like, explore online marketplaces like Amazon. They're building the entire strategy from scratch
Gotcha. And they're not just, like, making this plan and then just letting it run on its own. Things change so fast online.
all the time, constantly. A huge part of this role is data. Like how many people are going to the website,
Yeah.
clicking buy,
Yeah.
even what time of day gets the best results. They use all that to, like, tweak their approach, make sure they're ahead of the trends, and the competition, too.
It sounds like a pretty big impact on a company's success then, not just, like, posting a few tweets.
Oh, absolutely. Online sales can make or break a business these days, for sure. A really good, skilled online sales channel manager, they can completely change how a company does online and their bottom line, too.
So, for our listeners who are, like, picturing themselves in this role, what's it really like day to day? Is it all Zoom meetings and spreadsheets?
It's a mix, really. You might have days you're brainstorming with a marketing team, in person,
Hmm.
and then other days you're at home digging into the data.
That flexibility is really appealing. Rolecatcher also mentioned some travel.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Could be industry conferences, client meetings even.
Yeah.
Sometimes you go see how the products are made. Depends on the company, really, what they're selling.
That's cool. Great way to stay inspired, keep learning. But what about work-life balance? Our listeners are all about that.
It's a balance, like any job, right? But the flexibility here, huge advantage. Being able to, like, set your own hours sometimes,
Mm.
even work remotely,
Yeah.
but still be a key player,
Yeah.
help the company succeed.
So flexible, impactful for sure. But let's get real. Pros and cons. What should someone actually think about before they, like, jump into this field?
The good stuff, potential to earn a fantastic salary,
Yeah.
especially as you get more experience.
Makes
And because e-commerce is global, you could work with people from all over the world.
Wow.
Talk about, like, expanding your horizons, right?
For sure. But Rolecatcher mentioned high competition. What's that about?
Well, everyone wants in. E-commerce is booming. To stand out, you got to be a quick learner. Adapt to new tech, always learning new skills. Can't get complacent in this field.
Not for someone who wants to, like, do the same thing every day then. The guides also talked about pressure, meeting sales targets. How do you handle that?
Oh, it's definitely there. But it's not just about hitting a number, right? It's about understanding why that number exists in the first place. A good online sales channel manager uses the data to guide their decisions and isn't afraid to, like, change strategies if something isn't working.
So you're not just reacting to pressure, you're using info to stay in control.
Yeah, you're analyzing, refining, always optimizing
Yeah.
to get that long-term growth.
That makes a lot of sense. Now, say someone's totally hooked on this career path. What's it look like to actually move up? Can you work your way to online sales channel manager?
Totally. Think of it like a ladder. Each step gives you more experience, more responsibility.
So where would you even start?
Entry level. Something like an online sales assistant. Fantastic way to get your foot in the door. You're supporting the sales team, learning how everything works.
Hands-on.
Exactly.
What's the next step up?
Once you've got some experience, you could be an online sales coordinator. More responsibility then. Managing product listings online, maybe? Assisting with, like, marketing campaigns. Really starting to own certain parts of the process.
Okay, building up that foundation. Then what?
E-commerce specialist. That's where you're really diving into the online sales world, honing those analytical skills, might be optimizing a website, making sure customers find what they need, or even figuring out how to get the website to show up first in search results.
Developing a niche.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then, with all that experience, you're ready. You could step into that online sales channel manager role, lead a team, make those big decisions, shape how a company succeeds online.
That's awesome. Okay, but let's talk about standing out. RoleCatcher mentions certifications.
Oh, yeah, they could be huge.
Like they give you a competitive edge.
For sure. Like leveling up your skills, like in a video game. They show employers you're serious about this,
Yeah.
that you've got the knowledge.
So which ones matter? Like, give us the inside scoop. What should someone look into?
Okay, so Google Analytics certification, that's a big one. Basically essential for digital marketing. It shows you can track like all that website traffic, how people are using the website, and then using that data to, make things better.
Speaking the language of data,
Yeah.
music to a hiring manager's ears, right?
Exactly. Next up, HubSpot Inbound Marketing Certification. So that one's all about attracting customers organically. Think blog posts, social media, those email campaigns that actually give you something useful, building relationships.
Not just that hard sell.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's about like becoming a resource for people, building trust.
That's huge these days. Okay, what else?
Salesforce Certified Marketing Cloud Email Specialist. Long name, but proves, email marketing, which, by the way, is not dead.
Right.
It shows you can create targeted campaigns that actually work.
So many people are like, email's over. But it's about the right message, right time, right person.
Exactly. And then we've got Facebook Blueprint certification and Google AdWords certification. Those are key for online advertising, like the paid stuff, learning how to target well, manage budgets.
Making those advertising dollars count.
Yes, yeah. You learn about ROI, all that.
So investing in these certifications, it's like a leg up in getting that job, right?
For sure. Shows you're committed, that you're staying up to date.
Okay, well, speaking of valuable stuff, let's talk more about RoleCatcher. Our listeners are always looking for an edge. You mentioned they had some, like, really cool features.
They do, yeah. They're career guides. They're free, which is awesome. Yeah. But they're super in-depth. You can really dive deep into different roles, like see what it takes to be an online sales channel manager, the skills, the experience.
So it's like a personalized roadmap, but for your career.
Totally. And then there's this tool, RoleCatcher.Capture.
RoleCatcher.Capture. That sounds cool. What is it?
It's a game changer. Like, how you spend hours on job boards scrolling?
Oh, yeah. The worst.
Imagine you're on LinkedIn, or Indeed, right. You see a job you like, you click once, saves it straight to your RoleCatcher account.
No more like copying and pasting everything into a million different places.
Nope. All organized, super streamlined. And then, get this, they've got this AI interview practice tool.
AI interview practice. Okay, that sounds kind of sci-fi.
It's wild. You record yourself answering interview questions, right?
Okay.
The AI analyzes it like everything. Your words, how you're holding yourself, everything.
Oh, wait.
And then it gives you feedback. Personalized tips to improve.
Next level.
It's amazing. RoleCatcher's really on top of it.
They really have thought of everything.
And, speaking of the job market, this is interesting. The Bureau of Labor Statistics, they predict that jobs in this whole area, advertising, marketing, it's going to grow a lot faster than average over the next, decade.
That's good news.
Bright future. But let's be real for a sec. Interviews, they're the worst, right? Like the most nerve-wracking part.
It's the worst.
But here's the thing. Practice, practice, practice. The more prepped you are, the less scary it is.
Totally. So a good thing RoleCatcher has that list. The top 10 interview questions for online sales channel managers. Let's go through them, get some advice. I bet our listeners would love that.
Happy to help. Hit me with number one.
All right. So first one, can you tell us about your experience in managing an online sales channel? Seems pretty straightforward, but how do you make your answers stand out,
It's all about those accomplishments. Don't just list off your old jobs. Talk about projects you did, campaigns that really meant something. Did you boost sales? By how much? Launch something totally new online. Those are the stories that'll get them.
So put numbers to it whenever you can.
Exactly. Numbers matter, but
Yeah.
always be honest. Don't make stuff up or take credit for things you didn't do.
Keep it real. Okay, question 2. How do you stay up to date with the latest trends and technologies in online sales channels? So much changes so fast. How do you even show you're on top of it all?
That's where you show how passionate you are about learning. Talk about the blogs you read, podcasts you listen to, conferences. Is there, A big name in the field you follow online, mention them.
Show you're like actively learning, not just waiting for it to come to you.
Yes, exactly. Hiring managers want to see you're engaged, you're growing all the time.
Love it. What about this one? It's a big one. How would you develop and implement a successful online sales strategy? Feels kind of overwhelming, like they want your whole life story, but about sales.
I know, right? Don't overthink it. Just break it down. Start with your process. Like, okay, you're building a strategy from nothing. How do you do it? Who are you targeting? How do you measure success?
So you're walking them through it.
Yeah, you're showing you can think strategically, that you're analytical, and tailor to them, Do your research on the company, the role.
Research is key. Okay, number 4. How do you ensure that online sales channels are aligned with overall business objectives? So that sounds like big picture thinking, but also working with other teams, right?
Sure, sure. It's not enough to just, get sales. They have to make sense for the whole company.
So how do you show that in an interview?
Talk about communication, working with the other departments, the marketing team, sales, the people making the product. Everyone's got to be on the same page. Mention tools you've used, project management software, whatever. Regular check-ins.
Teamwork makes the dream work. All right, question 5. Can you tell us about a time when you had to troubleshoot an issue with an online sales channel? This is where it gets real, huh?
It is. This is them seeing how you handle problems.
Okay, so best way to tackle it.
STAR method, all the way. Situation, task, action, result. Set the scene. What was the problem? What'd you do? How'd it turn out?
And having a good story helps, right?
So much. Pick something where you really had to overcome something.
Yeah.
Show off those problem-solving skills.
Turn that negative into a positive.
Yeah.
Love it. Okay, this one's interesting. How do you measure the success of an online sales channel? Like, yeah, sales are up, but is there more to it?
Totally. Anyone can look at website visits or followers, but you got to look deeper. Talk about conversion rates, customer lifetime value, that kind of thing.
So what actually makes the business sustainable long term?
Exactly. So you know the difference between those vanity metrics and what actually matters. I mentioned the tools, Google Analytics, all that.
Gotta love Google Analytics. All right, question number 7. How do you prioritize and allocate resources for online sales channels? This feels like you need to be practical, but also strategic.
Totally. Resources are limited.
Yeah.
Got to make those tough calls.
How do you show that?
Talk about how you weigh different opportunities. What's the potential ROI? Using data to decide, of course. And mention tools, again, project management software, or even just how you prioritize tasks.
So strategic decision making. Got it. Number 8. Can you give an example of a successful online marketing campaign you have executed? Okay, back to those wins.
Story time, again. Pick something you're really proud of that shows your skills, your creativity.
STAR method.
Yes.
Yeah.
Set it up, your role, the strategy, the outcome. And, don't be afraid to talk about what you learned. Even if things went wrong, showing you're always growing, that's huge.
Everyone makes mistakes. It's how you bounce back. Okay, this might seem kind of boring, but it's important. How do you ensure that online sales channels are in compliance with legal and regulatory requirements?
Oh, compliance is key. E-commerce has a lot of rules. Data privacy, all that.
Right.
You got to stay informed. So how to show? Take it seriously. Stay up to date on regulations. Have you done any training, certifications even, mention it.
Yeah.
And working with the legal team, the compliance folks, that's essential.
Being proactive.
For sure.
Okay, final question, drum roll. How do you analyze customer data to inform online sales strategies? This feels like a big one.
It is. It's all about connecting those data insights to, actually doing something.
So how do we nail this? Last one.
Get specific. What data are you looking at? Website traffic, what are customers buying, social media, what tools are you using? And this is the most important. How do those insights actually change what you do?
It's not just about the numbers, it's what those numbers tell you to do.
Exactly. And remember, it never stops. The data, it keeps coming. You got to be ready to adapt. Let it guide you.
Be agile, be responsive. It's like being a detective, constantly looking for clues and piecing together the puzzle of what makes customers tick.
Oh, I like that. It's not just numbers, You're finding those little things that can change a company's entire strategy. It's exciting.
This whole deep dive has been amazing. So much to think about. Any last words of wisdom for our listeners as they think about diving into the world of online sales channel management?
Don't be afraid to learn as you go. Things change so fast in the digital world, right? Stay curious. Try new stuff. You'll be surprised what you find.
Be a lifelong learner. That's what I'm hearing. So for everyone listening, ready to jump into online sales, what's the one thing to remember from today?
Remember, you can change things. You can create those amazing customer experiences the ones people actually remember. How cool is that?
Yeah, that's something to think about. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and we'll see you on our next deep dive.